Hey everyone, I'm Jeremiah. I want to welcome you to the new Life Counseling channel. And today we're going to talk about completing the communication gap. All right. Or in other words, figuring out how to stop doing half sentences. All right. So what do you mean by half sentences or the communication gap? Well, often what happens is when we're talking, we as I don't know, very broad, generalized society tend to communicate very quickly, very speedily. We don't have a lot of time, and so we short form our communication without going into detail quite often. And often what happens is there's this like presumed or assumed, oh, you know what I'm talking about. And there very much can be, whether it's a empathetic emotional response of yeah, or I kind of get what you're saying, but when it comes down to getting to the full nitty gritty of that response, it can actually be very, well, not complete. It's only half of the sentence. Okay? Only half of the sentence. And we want to have a whole sentence structure. We want to have full open communication, not half communication. All right? So again, it's not that, partial communication or half communication is wrong or bad, but it can lead to miscommunication, which is of course what we don't want to do and why you might be watching this video about communication. So what do we do? Well, first of all, step number one is always just start listening to what people are saying. Okay, listen to how things are being spoken. Are you catching other people? Not to pick on them, not to go, hey, you're talking in a half sentence, man. No, it's to go, am I noticing these half sentences? Okay. Of course, the second place, and this is where it's a little more tricky, right, is to actually start to have a self-awareness of, am I saying half sentences? One of the ways is if maybe I'm talking with partners or collaborators or coworkers, and they might go, I don't quite get what you're saying. And you're going, well, I thought I said that in a very, professional, thoughtful way. Well, maybe there's a half sentence going on. All right. And this is where feedback, this is where listening to yourself talking, thinking about where there may have been miscommunication, especially if there was maybe a dance. The dance is what I often call the argument that was happening between you and a coworker, a partner, a loved one, a child, etc. All right. So what are some examples, of a partial half sentence, all right, or a gap in the communication, all right? Well, it's often found in the very basic things that we do within a day. Hey, man, how was your day? It was good. Okay, and? Hey, hun, how was your day at work? Good. See, they're partial sentences, if they're even sentences at all right, that give us partial truth. I'm trying to think of another example. Here, how about, I wanted to talk about something. Oh, what's that? I just wanted to talk about how work is causing me to have a lot of fear. And now, you might go, oh, okay, well, come on, what's the problem? Work's causing you fear. How was work? It was good. Yeah, but if I'm trying to actually get better at communicating, if I'm trying to close in those gaps of communication, I need to have not half sentences, but the full sentence. Hey, man, I'm having a hard time at work. I'm struggling with fear of possibly getting laid off because, and that's where I might go into whatever that detail is. It's interesting. We've talked a lot in past videos about how when we use primary emotions, all right, that's a good thing. It helps us to self-regulate. Neuroscience backs this up as well. But we don't want to just stop at saying, I'm angry. I'm fighting some shame. No, we want to get specific. I'm fighting shame of ... I'm fighting fear of ... I'm angry because what is that other sentence? And that's where we got to feel the other side. Not that this side's wrong or bad, but we got to have the other half to have the whole sentence, the whole communication, the whole piece. How was your day at work? It was fine, thank you. I had a good day, and being specific. The lunch was good. I had a really good conversation with a coworker. I was fighting a little bit of fear at work, but I found out, I talked with the boss afterwards because I felt like I was a little bit of afraid of getting let go, but I talked to the boss and they said, no. These are just areas that we're just providing feedback. We're always looking at a continuous improvement model, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, now we have the whole sentence, the whole complete communication, the whole, not a gap anymore, but the complete structure that we need in order to be able to have more informative, open communication. Hey, I hope that makes sense. If you got any questions, if you'd like to see some more about videos like this, by all means, click like and subscribe. You can also send in the comments section if there's other information that you'd like me to talk about, and that will definitely help more material to come out and how we can improve that communication gap. All right. So have a great wherever the rest of where you're at today. We'll see you later.